Close your eyes and imagine. Berlin is burning. Explosions consume the city. Weary soldiers run through the shadows of smoke searching for a way out. And underground, several meters below the surface of reality, sits a man whose footsteps once made the world tremble. Now he is alone, forgotten in the heart of the ruins he created. But amidst this chaos, another figure runs through the debris, General Wilhelm Hitler. In his hands is a letter that could change the course of history, a message that might save not just lives, but the very essence of humanity. As seconds slip away and rubble crashes down around him, he has only one goal: to reach the Führer, who in the final moments of his life is trapped between pride, delusion, and defeat. This is not a story of downfall. It is the sound of the last heartbeat of an empire that believed itself eternal. Welcome to the final 48 hours of Adolf Hitler's life. On the morning of April 28, 1945, as Berlin burned from the east under the onslaught of the Red Army, the atmosphere of the Chancellor's underground bunker was heavy with fear, exhaustion, and the scent of cold coffee. Adolf Hitler, the Führer who once had millions shouting his name in reverence, now sat at the map table with weary eyes and trembling hands. On the walls hung maps of Germany's fronts, now resembling shards of defeat. The red lines of the Soviet army drew closer every day. The sounds of explosions echoed above, and each tremor of the ground was a reminder of the inevitable end. In the adjacent room, Eva Braun, the woman who had spent the final years of Hitler's life with him, found herself caught between fear and loyalty. She smiled, yet her pale face resembled a mask concealing her true emotions. While others contemplated escape or surrender, she adjusted her white nightgown, as if she knew a ceremony was approaching, not one of celebration, but of closure. General Wilhelm Hitler, a loyal yet realistic commander of the Wehrmacht, was en route to the bunker at that very moment. In his hands was a coded message containing a conditional surrender proposal from the remaining officers. He understood that if he could deliver this message to the Führer, perhaps a few 100,000 lives could still be saved. Yet with each step closer to the bunker, the madness of the atmosphere intensified. The SS officers had lost all sense of reality and delusion. Berlin was on the brink of collapse, yet orders from above persisted, demanding that they fire their last shot until the very end. Hitler passed through the first checkpoint. He saw the faces of young soldiers whose eyes had become red and soulless from fear. At the second checkpoint, the sound of explosions grew nearer, and the ceiling began to crack. One of the guards, with doubt in his eyes, checked his identification card multiple times. In these moments, time seemed to stand still. No hope, no faith, only duty. In the bunker, Hitler's mental state was on the verge of collapse. He could hear the sounds, yet he seemed detached from the outside world. He believed imaginary reports of non-existent counterattacks and still awaited the miraculous order of Army Steiner, an army that no longer existed. Among the circle of his inner entourage, Minister of Propaganda Joseph Goebbels attempted to inject a fabricated spirit with fiery rhetoric. But his eyes also betrayed signs of surrender. In another corner, the bunker had become a place of survival. Drunken soldiers, muddy boots, crumpled maps, and clocks whose hands had forgotten the meaning of time. As evening fell, Hitler finally reached the entrance to the bunker. The sound of cannon fire echoed like the drum of death from afar. He entered the main room, and his footsteps were heard. In a heavy silence, he handed the letter to the Führer, but the response was cold and merciless. Surrender? Never. Germany dies, but does not surrender. In that moment, something in Hitling's face broke. He realized that history had already chosen its path. He was no longer on a mission to save. He was merely a witness to mark the end of a dark era. On the evening of April 30th, the soft sound of Eva Braun's prayer echoed in the room. Hitler carefully grasped a pistol, as he had previously proclaimed before the generals. This time, I will not surrender to history. Moments later, the sound of a gunshot reverberated through the basement. The end for a man who believed he could change the world but instead engulfed it in flames. Above the bunker, red flags waved on the walls of the Reichstag. What remained of the empire was engulfed in a haze of smoke. And in the silence that followed the last explosion, history took a deep breath, as if awakening from a long nightmare after years. At the end of those deadly 48 hours, only ruins remained of pride, violence, and an ideology that consumed millions. Yet within this defeat lies a lesson. No power, no matter how immense, can endure against truth and humanity. The story of Hitler's last days is not merely a tale of an ending. It serves as a warning of how blind beliefs can alter the fate of the world. If you enjoy historical narratives intertwined with a sense of drama and reality, be sure to follow the channel and activate the notification bell so you don't miss out on lesser-known stories from history. For history is not just the past. It is a mirror in which the future can be seen.